Good afternoon, guys. Recently, we noticed that in the media space, Western media is spreading information that BYD supposedly has low-quality cars. I never defend anyone and always only for justice. But when I drive in a cab and hear cab drivers all move to BYD and I tell them about it, they look at me with glassy eyes and show me the numbers on the speedometer. Sometimes I see just crazy mileage under 1,000,000 kilometers, and the car still looks pretty good. At the end of last year, 2023, BYD took the third place in the world among the largest car companies in terms of capitalization, ahead of BMW, Mercedes, and Volkswagen. At the beginning of the 24th year, Australia overtook Tesla and flew into first place in electric car sales. In Thailand, BYD is number 1 in electric car sales. In Israel, it is number 1 in electric car sales. They've recently entered the European Union, and I think somebody there is getting a lot of heat. Here's the new BYD Sea Lion 07 crossover. BYD has already sold more in the first quarter of 2024 than Toyota and Honda combined. What's the phenomenon? Why for $33,000 they give you 530 horsepower, with 4.2 seconds to 100, no air suspension, but double wishbone in the front, multi-lever in the rear? Yes, BYD have moved away from the McPherson and are now moving to a more expensive complex suspension. The interior trim here is like the BMW X3, which costs twice as much. As you all know very well, the battery is the most expensive unit in an electric car, and BYD has its own in-house production of this unit. Not only that, for $33,000, they also managed to give noise insulation almost like a German 3. I'll show you. This model has a claimed body stiffness of 40,000 Newton meters per degree. That's as much as the Mercedes S-Class, and a lot more than its BMW X3 classmate. Brakes are ventilated all round, perforated front. You can get either 19 or 20 wheels. Both there and there will be 255 by 45. Clearance is 19 centimeters. Recessed handles for aerodynamics. I've never seen a door closer anywhere else in a $33,000 car in this body size. Double glazing. 2,300 kilograms curb weight. It's got the finest quality fake leather, like the BMW i5, BMW X3. Zeekr has similar leather like this, so it's better than Chery, Geely, and Toyota Camry. This is plastic. This is the aluminum part. This is plastic. 12 Dynaudio speakers. This is metal. And here's a little piece of Alcantara. Note the seat cushion. It's already quite long by default, but you can make it even longer. I'd even say overkill. This is probably the longest cushion among the Chinese car industry. 187 centimeters tall. Sitting up straight, I can reach the steering wheel. 4 more fingers in front of my knee. I can even lie down, and people taller than me can fit in here too. The entire center of the backrest and the center of the seat is genuine Napa leather. The sides and top and here on the sides are fake leather. Ventilation heated in the front, ventilation heated in the back. No massages. The dashboard material, soft fake leather, is the same as on the door card. The main competitors outside of China are Tesla's Model Y, the electric BMW X3, and the Audi Q4 e-tron. And about this design, I will say the following. Perhaps now you will start writing in the comments that I have no taste. Please write, I am a little person, I will take it at face value. But it seems to me that here the design of the dashboard is the prettiest among all BYD cars. And to my taste, prettier than Audi, BMW, and Tesla. Look how well Egger's done. First of all, this is an interesting pattern. The whole panel under the visor. Remember the Li 1? I don't know why they went away from this concept, and the new Lixiang has this obscure thing here, although very functional because of its size, but the Li 1 was prettier under the visor. Is this screen a little bit too big? But you know, in terms of efficiency, no. Of course, the bigger the screen, the better everything can be seen, clearer, easier, and more comfortable. But if they had integrated it into this panel right here in the center, it would be smaller, it would look better, but it wouldn't be as efficient to use. Let's check for squeaks. I take the microphone off because it often rubs against my shirt and makes noise. I put it over here. Well, there's a little bit here. Well, maybe a little bit. Screen. Well, let's give it a B, shall we? There's a little niche under the center console covered in fabric. It's got charging ports and perfume. You can see the perfumes in there, 3 different scents. What I don't like is the steering wheel design. That's the part I don't like. Like for me, not very much. The steering wheel is not thick, not thin, it's just average. It's covered with Napa leather on the outside, fake leather on the inside, stitching. All the buttons are mechanical. They're all perfectly pressed, well made. 2 places to wirelessly charge your phone. There's Alcantara, 50 watts, and a left side with blower. The crystal-shaped selector, the same as in the Seal sedan. There are 2 big buttons here, but there are 3 touch buttons inside. Whichever one you press, the whole big button flexes. Here's the matte plastic. That's the one that's great. Thank you very much for that. Great. It's glossy here, and this part here is matte. Here is the camera, which can be opened and closed if desired. The inside is covered with fabric. The armrest is the most average in width, not very wide, not narrow. Inside is covered with fabric. There is a cigarette lighter. Mechanical adjustment of the steering wheel height and reach. Everything down here is also covered with fake leather. There is also fake leather. There is practically no plastic, only at the very bottom. This is what ambient lighting looks like. It breathes. Alcantara starts from here and continues through the whole car along the bottom like this. And above that, there's double stitching along the dashboard. Stitching here, here, and here. The screen is 15 inches. Like all BYD cars, it swivels upright. Let's turn it back and I'll say this. I think it would be much more interesting if they changed the mechanism and made it so it could rotate both driver and passenger side. Different widgets. From top to bottom are the hot buttons. This is the way we flip through the desktop. As you can see, the picture is very juicy. Exactly above the average screen. Much better than in budget cars like Exeed, Omoda, Geely, Sherry, and the like. The screens there are just awful, but unfortunately, it does not reach Lixiang and Tesla. Let's take a look at how the climate works. Yes, everything works quickly. There is English, as you can see. Any apps can be installed. TikTok is already installed. Let's see the map. Yes, the map works fast. The screen can be split into 2 halves. This is interesting, don't you agree? And if you want, instead of a picture on the desktop, you can have a map always on. Also with widgets, with all the things, but it will be a map instead of a desktop. The camera's not great, it could be better. They saved money on that. BYD's screen is always good in that it looks like a regular Android home tablet. So, when there's nothing to do, the car is charging, you're flipping through it, there's that beautiful Chinese girl again. The driver's dashboard, as you can see, is augmented reality and it's under the visor. That's great. There's a head-up display on the windshield. The fabric here is ordinary, but it is so soft, so much nicer than what I had in my Lixiang. There's another camera here, obviously. You can close it if you want to. And this panoramic roof has two options. Either a sunshade that covers the whole roof, or a gas roof that changes the transparency to your choice. We have a gas roof here right now. Oh, I see. Now pay attention. 4,830 length, wheelbase 2,930. In front of the knee, 187 centimeters tall, sat behind myself. 3 fists. Above the head, a fist. Some kind of magic, the way they spread the space. Is the hood really that short? Well, it's kind of nice. I already like the tilt of the backrest, but you can go further back. Yeah, I could take a nap like that. Whoa, that's cheap right there. I wish we could do it all, yeah. Well, here we go. Thanks for the fact that the plastic here is not glossy, but matte. Very smooth, nice to the touch. And there's a case. It's covered in fabric. The backs of the front seats look like this. They are covered with fake leather in the back. By the way, the fake leather here is so... Not that one, not that one. And not like the one on the dashboard. This one's cheaper. And this one here, look, it's matte plastic. Thanks again for not being glossy. Egger makes everything tasteful. Well done. Air, mechanical buttons, heating, ventilation, charging ports. And you can close them like this. I've got a hook here, a sensor light. The door is open so it doesn't turn off. The door card in the back is made of the same materials as the front. We get out of the car with this pedal. 510 liters in the back. And it's not that simple. There is a mesh, speakers, hooks, a light bulb. There's a 220-volt socket on the right here. That's not bad. It's a big niche. 58 liters. There's a mat. Water. Soundproofing. Many of you know the Song L crossover. This is its counterpart. BYD is now the third most capitalized company in the world after Tesla and Toyota. They have tons of money, and they can afford to make practically the same car, but with completely different designs. By doing so, they give people an alternative and boost their sales. Both the Song L and our Sea Lion are built on the same platform and have the same wheelbase, 2,930. They have the same electric motors, but there are differences in the driving experience. What they've done is clever. The battery has 80 kilowatt hours, which is a little less than the Song L. It has 87. But on this small budget saved, apparently, they added some noise insulation. And if it weren't for the $33,000 price tag, I'd definitely say the battery is small. But the thing is, for that money, no one on the planet except BYD gives a higher capacity battery with that kind of trim, suspension, power, and body size. They promise 550 kilometers on the CLTC, 20% less in the summer in the city, easy in the winter in the city, 50% less. Next. For some reason, I thought they would make it tougher and sharper compared to Song L. It's the same. I can't feel any difference. It's exactly the same, built for comfort, soft as a Toyota, while steering like a Volkswagen. I mean, average handling, but clearly above average in comfort. BYD's suspension feels like the absolute leader among Toyota, Honda, and Volkswagen. That's why it's selling so well. The Tesla Y, their main competitor, steers better, brakes better, but it's stiffer and has no noise insulation at all. In terms of seating, it's probably the best BYD I've ever sat in. And the length of the seat cushion is just beyond excellent. The seats are comfortable, quality head-up display on the windshield. Unlike the Lynk & Co. 08, the face doesn't dance on acceleration. Top speed is 200 kilometers an hour. Recuperation is not enough for me. I like it harder. But there's more than enough dynamics. 4.2 to 100 after a charging. and about 6 to 100 with a very low battery. I think it's more than enough for the city. It's the best $33,000 crossover I've ever seen in my life. Have you noticed how often I use that phrase? It's because every minute the Chinese create a better car than they did yesterday. And by the looks of it, this will be the case for the next 20 years. So get used to and understand these words correctly. And noise insulation somehow always has a big impact on my feelings. Okay, that's it. I'll say goodbye. Take care of yourself, do sports, eat healthy food, drink plenty of water, and see you again.